I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it in back day. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it turnpike miles. Yeah, it's Bugle signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things.
Welcome back, everyone, to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy Jan Ludis, and as you can see, we've got another great guest in store. Someone we've had on here before who brought a great message on mindset and stress, and I know for a fact that that helped a lot of people. But since then, she's been growing and adding new and different ways to help her clients, from being a former nurse practitioner to now a functional medicine expert in every single aspect of the term. We wanted to get together today to dive deeper into some of these topics that you can absorb and help yourself out of stress and up the ladder in life, but also help you cultivate a greater mindset for the everyday and heal your body in ways that you might not even thought possible before. So guys, I give you Rachel Headings. Rachel, welcome back to Once a Week. I'm happy to have you here again.
I'm super pumped, Billy. I'm just, here to spread the message that you can heal. Your body is a genius. We just got to learn what it's trying to tell us and get a little, creative with our lifestyle habits and choices, things we do every day. If we do those 10% better, what's going to be the outcome? And so, stress, trauma, mindset, these are all passionate things that I love to talk about every day.
That's exactly what I want to step into with you. In our last talk, we dove deep into mindset because you and I, with how we help people, is very similar, but it has a lot of differences to it in the sense of you really dive deep into, for that matter, the health portion of it. And I have clients that you have clients, and you're able to help people, oh, this will help you with X, Y, and Z. This will help you with X, Y, and Z. But when you get to the basis of what's causing that, it always falls back into a mindset portion. What's the deeper unconscious aspect, or what's in the nervous system? And so I know more than ever, you're helping people in the nervous system aspect, trying to help them really understand, where does stress come from? Where does anxiety, depression? But tell us, how does that factor into the last few months since we last saw you? Like, what have been the growth points? What have you added to the puzzle? How are you helping people now more than ever?
Through my own healing journey is kind of how you open up and find new tools, right? I try everything on myself first before I recommend it. I'm like a student of life, and I was behind the 8 ball in my daily life, getting cranky, having some hormone imbalance, and I was doing all the things, gluten-free, dairy-free, taking my, minerals and drinking my water, but I was like, why am I so cranky? Why am I feeling so stressed? Why can't I sleep? Why is my brain racing with negative thoughts? I'm like, this isn't normal. What's going on? I'm having bloating, indigestion. And so one of my mentors, Dr. Bob Rakowski, has the stress reset protocol. I'm like, fine, I'm just going to try it because I haven't tried it yet and I'm curious. He's been talking about it for a long time. He's helped thousands of people with it. What's it going to do to me? And literally in 5 days, all my symptoms were gone. Wow. And I thought, well, this packs a punch. What's going on here? And so I've been talking about it. I've been trying it with clients and similar results, people getting off Cymbalta, chronic pain going away, literally stopping racing thoughts so you can sleep, so that wired and tired feeling can go down, because I think people with a very overactive nervous system live in that place. Like, you're going to get eaten by a lion or a bear any given moment of the day. So we're always revved or jittery or shaking, or I was always anxious and kind of just had this inner turmoil. And I didn't know what it felt like to be calm, and I was using mindset and all that too. And that plays a big piece. But I feel like when the nervous system can actually be regulated, then you can get in a calm place to choose your response. Use those mindset and awareness pieces that we love to touch on to really hone in on our choices that are going to maximize our results.
That's awesome. I love that. So dive deeper into that in the sense of everything you took to kind of, I guess, wash out stress in a way. You said it packs a punch and whatnot. And what question comes to me is the idea of the belief in that working. That plays such a factor, especially in the nervous system, in the sense of, I sit there and I think of the placebo effect in the sense where it's like a lot of people will believe if I take this, it's going to help me. And it's just the belief in itself that actually heals the body, which in turn connects to the mindset portion. But a lot of people nowadays aren't able to, one, believe like that, but see like that. So having a component that actually does help the body, help the nervous system, is very key. And if that opens the door to them believing how powerful they are, you're on the right track. But dive into that. What is that? What is this entire process?
You're exactly right. I'm all about belief too. And the thing is, anxiety is on the rise. Trauma is on the rise. The last 3 years were very traumatic, and it's brought up a lot of inner turmoil in a lot of people. Over 80%, I think, of people, is what I was reading, are wired with their genetics to have a stress-induced illness. And I think that's why we're starting to see more of these suicidal thoughts, the anxious, inflamed OCD, paranoia tendencies, because we're already wired to not handle stress hormones. Now our stress hormones are going crazy because of diet, we're sitting more, we're not connecting as much, we might be eating foods we weren't normally eating, we're not breathing deep and getting good oxygen, so we're getting further and further behind the 8 ball. And so then our nervous system's just getting bombarded with all these stress hormones. They're getting trapped up in our brain. And so you're already wired to not handle stress well. Well, if it's trapped here and not getting metabolized right, that can turn into severe symptoms. Yeah. And so these tangible things to take can block that response so that you can get back into belief and this is really what's going to work for me. And that was a trauma response. I'm actually going to choose this way now.
Yeah.
And so it's literally 3 different products. It has reishi in it, one of my favorite superfoods from the reishi mushroom, a potent spore formula that really helps do kind of the dirty work of bringing down inflammation at the cellular level because it starts to clear out parasites, bacteria, viruses, as well as promote GABA in the brain, which is a neurotransmitter of calm. And so it does dual effect. And then melatonin and L-theanine, you bring those pieces in and they literally can block the cortisol impact of that stress response that's pounding around in our brain and making it go on a wheel. So
2 questions come up, but essentially you're helping people clean the slate where they can start again, right? And I think that's, that was always a term brought to me in meditation, in practicing meditation. If your mind gets off track, start again, and you don't beat yourself up. You come back to your breath. You start again. It's essentially what you're doing with these supplements and products, and for that matter, is let me help you get to a clean slate so you can start again without the stress, without the trauma, without the anxiety, and be calm in this essentially new life. Because that's what we're doing, is trying to start over.
We're starting to start over. We're trying to get the cart back behind the horse, because now it's in front of the horse. And really, we are meant to be in rest and repair mode. Right. But most humans live in fight or flight. So until we really learn how to get back into rest and repair mode with all of our meditation, deep breath, cold plunges, supplements, diet, those things, we're not going to be able to calm down. I mean, some people can't meditate because their nervous system is so bombarded. The dopamine's trapped. It's not getting out. They literally can't just sit there with no thought. Yeah. It's impossible.
Right. Exactly. No, I agree to that for sure.
And maybe you're on the other end of the bell curve, because dopamine's a bell curve. There's the high catecholamine response and then the low. So maybe you're more depressive, or you want to sleep all the time, or you're, have a lot of food sensitivities. This is the low end of the spectrum. So if you're in that category, you want the sweet spot. You need just a little bit of stress to keep your body in balance, but not too high, not too low. Right. And so the reset, like you said, gives you a clean slate, and then you can start to use your lifestyle habits, maybe a few products here and there. I still use it as needed when I know I'm going to have a stressful day or travel, or I'm going to be around a lot of people, because I'm very sensitive to crowds and energy and going in public places. I know a lot of people have trouble leaving their house and going to Walmart or stores. It can really help buffer all the signals you're picking up, because when you're highly sensitive or you're in a state of fight or flight, you get super sensitive to the energies around you. And so it can really, like you said, block that response, give you a clean slate, so you can start plugging into some of these deeper mindset tools that we offer people.
That's phenomenal. And I kind of want to dive deeper into it right now, because something you said earlier is the genetic aspect that trauma brings with it. And I think what a lot of people, and it's kind of becoming, I guess, newer to the public eye, but it's the study of epigenetics, which you and I touched on our last time we had you on, which if people are looking for that, go on YouTube and find the last interview we did with Rachel, because it brings so much information for people. But I want to build on that right now, because a lot of people don't study epigenetics, but essentially, I guess in a simplified way, it's, there's a lot of different ways to explain it, but essentially speaking, your genetic code holds in it everything from your ancestral history. And that's been passed down from generation to generation. So if you really want to dive into it, a lot of people that are dealing with stress or struggle right now is because in your genetic code, that's been there, so it's become your norm because it was passed down through history. That makes it even more powerful for us to stand up to that and say, no more, I'm starting again, I'm choosing my way, which is where Rachel and all this aspects steps into. But at the same time, for people that don't study the mind in the epigenetic way, you can study the spiritual as well. That's the terminology they used to use of generational curses, in the sense of if I'm not the one to stop this in my family, it passes on to the next line, and the next line, and the next line, so on and so forth. That's where the spiritual meets the mindset piece for that aspect. But in the study of epigenetics and helping people understand, your choices are so powerful to change what comes next in your life, but also your kids, your cousin, everything that follows after you, all because, you know what, today I'm not gonna respond in anxiety, I'm not gonna react to anxiety, I'm gonna choose how I want to. You start a new path. Is it tough? For sure, but just like anything, like being in the gym, you gotta make it a practice.
Flex that muscle.
100%, right? So where do you see that pop up, Rachel, with clients that come to you, with whoever you're talking to for that matter, where the understanding of where their trauma, their anxiety comes from, their depression, where it's on the rise now. But I think as much as we all went through the pandemic, we're seeing now more than ever, people aren't actually spending the time to heal themselves. They're just throwing it on their shoulders and keep going. They're not even looking to see what caused it anymore.
No, I think people are just trying to survive, to be honest. They're hitting rock bottom at all different levels, and they're going to the doctors, why is my blood pressure high? Why is my blood sugar off? Why am I gaining this weight and it won't go away? I didn't change anything. Why can't I sleep? Why are my hormones imbalanced? Why am I infertile? And it can all be tracked back to the nervous system and living in chronic stress. Yeah. And, we can determine if you're a high stress person or low stress hormone person. Looking at genetics, that's kind of fluff in my opinion, because unless you're going to use that information to make the lifestyle changes, we've got to start with getting you out of survival mode. And, I love that information. I know my COMT pathway is ready for, I get fast release of dopamine, so that's good at multitasking, getting things done, but it can also tip me into overwhelm and stress and anxiety a lot quicker, because I don't process it then out of my brain as fast unless I actually do things to rest and repair. So that's why meditation, breath work, yoga, nature walks, I implement those in my life every day so that I'm taking the time to get the dopamine out of my brain. Right. Now there's the other side of that where you might be a COMT++. That means you are genetically predisposed to not handle stress well. 80% of our population is that code. So you are very at risk for stress-induced illness. So if you're starting to pile things on your plate and you feel yourself either getting really tired, really cranky, food sensitivities, like can't handle anything, or you're getting wired and tired, you're not handling your stress well, you are snipped out. I call that a genetic snip, which is a polymorphism, meaning that's how you were born. And like you said, 80% of your lifestyle choices will turn that on and off. So the power is in your choices, people. And you can choose your thoughts. You can choose how you breathe. You can choose how you drink. You can choose how you eat. You can choose how you walk. You can choose how you move your body. You can choose how you do your sleep routine. Yep. You can choose all of it. So the power is in waking up and choosing what you want to choose for yourself. And that's where the coaches come in, because you and I both know, Billy, to choose, like, to get out of this trauma response and choose this uncertain road, because we all know where the trauma response road is going to go. We've been down it a million times. We've had the same stories over and over and over. We know where we're going down that road.
Yeah.
But what happens when we wake up and we're like, that doesn't work anymore. I can't go down that road one more time. I am not going to stress and overwhelm and burn out one more time. Now what? Now I actually have to choose how to surrender and let go and have the courage to move forward down this uncertain road. And that's where coaches and mentors and these people like you and I who do the work ourselves can help, because we've got strategies, we've got tools to make that process a little easier and a little more like the back of your hand. Like, I can do this. Because believing in yourself is the first step. Until you wake up and actually say, I can do it, you're going to keep repeating the same patterns, right?
100%, right? and that right there is, I 100% agree with it, because it's the believing in yourself. It's an internal factor that in turn impacts the external in your life. So for people that right now are agreeing with everything Rachel's saying, maybe that's you she's talking about right now, where you wake up every day and it's the same old this, the same old response, same old everything, you're going to respond the same way. It's your routine, your pattern to completely go down that road. It is on you to make a choice in how you think, how you speak, how you act, the three things that no matter what happens in life, you still have control over your thoughts, your words, and your actions. And if you start to implement your own belief, just you can do this, and say, you know what, today I'm going to move in this direction. If this negativity comes into my head, I'm going to say no, and I'm going to keep moving in the positive direction. It feels very weird. It's like you're riding a bike for the very first time. You're going to fall over. I remember falling over numerous times when I learned how to ride a bike. But you get back up.
You'll do sometimes.
But the beauty of that is now I haven't ridden a bike in years. I can get on, and I know it's ingrained. It's in the conscious, the unconscious aspect of the mind. So now when people start to pursue better for themselves and they start to believe that they can have it, they are it for that matter, they start to walk in this and you realize, life isn't so bad. The stress is gone because I'm no longer seeing life through the lens of stress. I'm seeing life through the lens of whatever I want it to be. And that's personal power at its finest. But Rachel, do you find, because I definitely see a lot of people, that fear that pops up with, oh my goodness, I have to do something new. A lot of people choose to stay in the anxiety, to stay in the depression, to stay in stress, to stay in pain for that matter, because I don't know what's on the other side of this door. I'm just going to do what I know. How often do you see that pop up?
Like always. I mean, even in my own self, I'll catch it where you're like, oh wait, here I go again. Monkey brain's got the wheel. Yeah. I'm heading towards overwhelm. I'm heading towards fighting reality. I'm heading towards trying to control. Right. I'm heading towards people please. I'm heading towards feeling guilty about putting my needs first. I'm heading towards, conditioned response where, oh, I should do this. They told me that this is what we do in our family, so I should do this. These are the things that keep us trapped. I'm heading towards anger. Gosh, anger is easier sometimes than actually feeling the pain of feeling disempowered, disrespected, not heard, don't matter, not enough. I'm just going to jump to anger instead. Yeah. Or fear. And so everybody's got their things. Yeah. Fear was one of my big ones, still is. I feel it and I remind myself every day, hey, that's old programming. Yep. The new programming is this confident, powerful woman who's choosing courage down this road where I don't know where the heck it's going, but it feels good to be on it. Yeah. It feels more empowering. It feels more freedom. It feels more creative. And that gets my juices flowing. When down this road, I'm like, oh God, here we go again. I'm in this cycle of stress, and I keep ruminating over those same things that are holding me back. And, the stress reset can clean the slate, but then we got to do the work to say, oh yeah, that's the old way. I'm updating to the new way. That's just a fear response. I'm going to get curious. Oh, that's curious. Oh, that's an interesting response. Well, what could I choose instead? Right. Support myself? Oh, give myself some compassion? Oh, like become my own best friend? These are all things I had to learn. These are muscles we've got to flex. Yeah. We can't depend on our family to give us support. We can't depend on our kids for our support. We can't depend on our boss, our job, our dog, or anything. It's us. It's me and me again.
It's true. It's true.
Every answer is like, you got to do it.
Everything in life is pointing us back to ourselves. And the more we lean into that, and like you said, family can't help, friends can't help, dog can't help, so on and so forth, until you do the step for yourself. The beauty of that is that when you start to show yourself that compassion, that love, that joy, that consciously choosing for yourself to move in this direction of betterment for you, you start to feel it, but then everyone else around you feels it as well. And that's where, because a lot of people that they give their heart to others, and I've been one of those people for sure, self-sacrifice for sure. But at the same time, when you start to understand that when you put all that energy back to you and you better yourself, everyone else receives something from that. So you don't have to sacrifice yourself. You become the greater that you can give to other people without even have to try. And that's the beauty of all of it. But that's consciously choosing. And I think if people can just take this one aspect, life is happening for you and not to you. We've heard that from numerous people throughout the ages. And if you can fully grasp that whatever anxiety, stress, depression, pain, whatever it is you're going through, if you can just lift your head up just a little bit and try and see a greater perspective to realize, like, all right, what's the lesson in this? Why am I going through this? What is this trying to teach me? You, in that one instance, consciously chose to rise higher, but you pull yourself out of anxious thinking and stress because now you're in a learning phase. Now you're trying to figure out, okay, wait a second, if this is trying to help me, what is it? I don't like what I'm feeling, but what is it? And if the lesson you learn is to consciously choose, I don't like this, I'm going to choose something else to feel. And you start to walk in a different direction. You learned your lesson. You passed the test. Life gives you another, I don't want to say test in that stance, life gives you another experience. And when you start to consciously make these decisions to move in the betterment of you, these experiences that life brings you are no longer fear-based, they're strength-based, they're joy-based, they're faith-based, they're whatever term you want to use to describe the positivity life can give you, all because you started consciously choosing, and then your unconscious mind, way back here, all the thoughts that we don't really give the time to think what's going on there, all of that starts to shift because your conscious mind is now feeding your unconscious. That's the power of all this aspects, but the help of self-belief, the help of meditation, the help of prayer, the help of consciously choosing, all of these components come into play. They're all tools to help you realize, oh my goodness, it's all about me. I'm going to choose the better. And when you choose the better, everyone else around you receives the better. That's the beauty of life, for that matter.
Well, and for the overachievers out there who are listening, let me just tell you, rest is always the answer. I had to learn how to rest, to sit my butt down and feel the agony of sitting there, because a doer doesn't want to sit. We want to go, 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 right? But I was burning myself out so bad, I had to learn how to rest to create. Yeah. And when I tip into doing too much and stressing myself out to the max with my schedule overbooked, over giving to people, letting my energy go away with the kids and the obligations everywhere, then I gotta rest. If I don't rest, I don't reboot or repair, and then my nervous system goes into overwhelm. Then I get the negative thoughts, I get the racing, thoughts and lack of sleep. So these are the things that you can start to become aware of, that you can use your mindset for when you start to slow down. And a lot of people don't realize that we're not meant to go 24/7. We're not meant to have so many obligations on our plate that we have no time to just take a deep breath.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I think it's really important, especially for women who are the moms, they're working, they have a lot on their plate. Men do too, because they're providers. They feel a lot of pressure to pay all the bills and be like this big, like, I'm a winner because I make a lot of money and I pay all the bills and provide all this for people. I mean, it goes both ways. Like, we all have a lot on our plate. We all need to learn how to rest and take care of ourselves in a way that doesn't depend on anyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
And until we get out of victim mode, I like to call it victim mode. I don't know what else to say when our ego's dialed up so high that keeps us stuck in our ways. We got to turn that dial down and say, hey, I'm not a victim of my circumstance anymore. I'm taking my power back today and believing that I can, one moment at a time. It's in the process that you will see the results. You don't go to a destination. Yep. You make up a destination, then you feel like a failure because you're never going to ever get there. Right. But look how far you freaking come. Start paying attention to that and give yourself a lot of acknowledgement for the changes that you are making. You know, these are kind of a lot of the tips that I use with my clients. I use with myself, because this process of rewiring the brain and really believing in yourself can be as long or as short as we make it, right?
Yeah, true. Very true. Right.
I made mine kind of long, but I'm starting to get the hang of it. I finally, in January, went to a yoga retreat, slowed way down, got this really big download of like ease, flow, you know, and just like, you can have that in your day. Release control, surrender to the moment, let go, and trust that it's all working in your favor. If I use that motto every single day, it's amazing how much more energy I have, how much more that I actually get done because I've slowed down, I've taken care of myself. Mm-hmm. Everybody wins. Like you said, you're changing generational conditioning, traumas, expectations. You're changing it by changing yourself. It's so exciting.
Yeah. And I want to emphasize one key point that you said, which is taking time for you. And I'm someone, I just like, for people listening right now that don't really understand the power of that, I'm someone that loves to research and study history, scripture, all this kind of stuff. And I love seeing that throughout every single culture in the world, there is a piece in there that tells you to be in the present moment for one, but to rest. That's why, you know, if you, the one we all know, biblically, there's a day of rest for sure. But it also says trust the moment, or you find the presence in the present moment. That's why you've heard Rachel and I say in this one talk right now, meditation, about 10 times. Just that term. What that is being in the present moment. You don't have to go and sit and like, no, I'm not telling you to do that. But bring yourself back to this moment here and now. Not in the future, where, oh my goodness, I have to get all this stuff done. That's your schedule dictating you. When at the end of the day, you're the one that dictates your schedule. That's taking your power back and realizing your conscious choices determine, what am I going to do today? That can wait for tomorrow. That can wait for the next day. That's not you living in your past where depression lies. In the past, if all of our thoughts rush to the past and all the pain that we've been through, you're going to sit in depression. So that's the battle of anxiety and depression. All right, well, I don't want to be in either of those. I want to be right here, right now. Or as Rachel just gave her own example, she went to a yoga retreat in aspects where that is something you can be joyfully anticipating. So, oh my goodness, that's on the calendar. I get to do all this stuff, and then I get to go there, and that's my time. That's you purposely choosing this weekend, this week, whatever it is for me. So you're realizing that you're more important than the schedule. You realize you're more important than the stresses that have been weighing you down for so long. That's why, you know, me growing up, our family took one family vacation a year, and then every other week, my parents worked. And I'm sitting there, and now being older, looking at that, I'm like, we were always, every single family, every kid growing up in middle school, high school, even grade school, that was the norm for the families, where 1 week a year, and then you work the rest. That means you only have 1 week to yourself, and, you know, looking at the parental perspective, you're not really getting that much time away from stress because you're with your family in the moment, you know? So for right now, people taking this, you have to set time aside for you. I'll say that to every single client that I have, because life, no matter what, is trying to tell you, hey, just be here. You don't have to rush, just be here. Do nothing here and now. And it's very tough for people to do nothing because our brain has been wired to do everything. You know, bring yourself back to the moment and just, you know what, I'm going to go sit by the lake today. And just don't put the music on, don't put the phone on. Just sit there for 5 minutes and watch how good you feel. You're like, yeah, all right, I'll sit for another 5 minutes. Just test yourself in 5-minute increments, and that's consciously choosing every 5 minutes. But then you start to wire that into your being, as Rachel just said, rewiring yourself to the point where I'm going to put me first. And that's the point of life, to realize how strong you are, to step into your higher self for that matter and realize, oh my goodness, I create this. I'm the one. This is where mindset connects the pieces. I create this. If I'm going to stay focused on all that unconscious aspect, the anxiety, the stress, the pain, and I realize the cycle never ends, it's because all you're focusing in on is the stress, the cycle of this same to same mundane routine. All right, well, I want to change that. I want more excitement in my life. Well, you have to start choosing for excitement. That breaks the cycle by you consciously choosing, what do I want to experience today, tomorrow, in my life moving forward? But that's taking all these pieces and bringing it together into one aspect. But Rachel's starting that with cleaning the slate. Because I want to connect all these pieces together. Cleaning the slate allows you to see life from a higher perspective, the perspective we were always supposed to. And then, as you said, these mindset tools, meditation, yes, resources, prayer, everything like this is meant to help you. But you have to be the one behind it, doing this, consciously choosing. So Rachel, like, to connect it back together with how do you help clients really bring all these pieces back together? Because that's what we're trying to do right now.
You know, I see people with all kinds of symptoms. They can't lose weight, bloating, migraines, hormone imbalances, bad periods, infertility, anxiety, depression, low energy. And you say, okay, we could do thousands of dollars worth of tests. We could know your genetics, what you're set up for. We could know your nutritional deficiencies and all the things. But every time the protocol starts, no matter what information we have, it still starts with, are you in a chronic stress cycle? And 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 out of 10, the answer is yes. And when we treat the stress first, 80, 90, 99% of the symptoms go away.
Right.
Then we can start doing this work of having the ability to use our mindset, use our meditation, use our lifestyle habits to stay in that place. Yeah. But until we get to that point, we're still reacting to foods. We're still angry and resentful. We're still, getting anxious with the moon cycles. You know, that's a very known thing. Every 3 to 4 weeks, worse anxiety with the full moon. There's lots of information on that out there. But, you know, we're behind the 8 ball. We're just reacting. We're getting sick all the time. You know, we can't sleep well. And these are all symptoms that our nervous system isn't happy. It doesn't like what we're doing. It does not like our choices. Yeah. And it's not just about the diet. It's not just about a pill or a magic supplement, because there isn't one. Right. There's not a magic supplement, guys. Exactly. I've tried them all. I've tried thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of products. Every company wants you to think this is the magic bullet. It is not out there. If there was, I wouldn't have a job. Nobody out there with a passion for health and wellness would have a job. Yep. You know, and that's why conventional medicine's limited, because they just give pills. Pills a lot of times make you sicker. Right. You know, and don't address the issue. Don't address the issue that the dopamine's trapped in the brain. It can't get out. You're not pooping well. You're not moving your body. You're not breathing well. Some of these things we do every single day, you know, and so we start there. We start with the basics. Do the 10 things you're already doing. Your coffee, for goodness sakes, chock full of mold. Get an organic, reishi infused coffee and change your life. Simple lifestyle hack right there. You know, start your morning off with meditation, prayer, plugging in. Give yourself 30 minutes to an hour every day of sunshine and plugging in. It's better to do it in the morning, because then your whole day just blossoms. Yeah. Save your workouts for mid-morning or into the day. And you can know that by your personality type. You know, there's all kinds of personality tests that tell you what type you are and what's going to maximize your energy. You know, plug into that information. You know, do some gratitude. Yep. Everybody has something you're thankful for, even if you're struggling to even get out of bed every day. Hey, you're breathing. There's 1. Hey, I got to see the sky today. There's 2. You know, and even if you don't really believe it, you're just angry. I don't believe it. Trick yourself. You got to play little games sometimes, right? And so these are the things we start with, because it always, no matter what, comes back to the basics. We put the brakes on stress. Then we can start saying, hey, let's clean up the diet. Let's get you on an anti-inflammatory, blood sugar stabilizing, metabolic reset diet that actually helps your cells work better. Right. Okay, now you just dropped 20, 30 pounds. Well, now you look better. Well, dang, I like who I see in the mirror. Well, now you're starting to get some energy up in your brain to think better. Right. Well, maybe now I'm going to say, you know what? I'm not going to choose overwhelm today. I'm going to choose rest. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it, because I'm bone tired. And I'm going to sit here and just do something that I enjoy, like you said. You know, take time for yourself. You matter.
Yeah.
You matter, people. And if you can't show yourself that, nobody else is going to show it to you.
True. Right? It all starts with you.
It all starts with you. And the answer is always, what are you battling within you? Where are you arguing with reality that you can't accept what's happening in your life right now? Because when you have that battle and that friction, what you resist persists, right? Anybody in mindset work knows that. And it finally came to a head for me in January. I was resisting, and I finally was like, I let go. Yeah. I was like, okay, I give up. It was like the river gate, the gate of the dam just opened and the river just started to flow. And I've just been on this ride since January, and I was like, see what happens when you plug into yourself? Holy moly.
Yeah.
So when you're going against the rapids and you're going upriver and you're just struggling in every aspect of your life, just know Billy and I are here. We've got strategies. We can start with the basics by helping you get out of stress. And then you start climbing, making the battle so that you can let the river rapids flow in the right direction.
No, 100%. And I love everything. Guys, if you have to replay that, Rachel just gave in that one aspect maybe 10 different strategies, resources that could work for you. But one thing she mentioned is that it all starts with you. And as she said, there is no magic pill that fixes everything, because we are the ones that have to step into that process. And I think now more than ever, Rachel and I were talking about this before we even started recording, people think that there is a magic pill out there because we have become so, in a sense, materialistic, where, oh, this will help me do this, and then I can stay focused on productivity. This will help me do this. That's not how life works. That's not the way of the world. I would love to say that, but the world's pushing this on us where, oh, hey, go take this, and it's going to fix that, but we're not going to tell you that it's going to hurt X, Y, and Z of your body. You know, and then 99% of the world goes and takes it. Everything comes back to you doing the work for you rather than having to go get a pill to think that, oh, this will help me, but why do I feel like this after? It starts with, how you perceive this information. 2, am I going to use this information? 3, when do I choose to start my life again? And whether that's every single day when the alarm goes off, it's a new day, it's a new life, I'm going to choose this way from now on, or the alarm goes off, all right, we got to go through this same thing again. And then finally Friday, Monday, and we got to go through the same thing again. It's your choice how you want to perceive life through your own eyes. If you want to be the person that uses these strategies, uses these resources, has a vigor for life, and you're now moving forward in this positive energy, as Rachel said, that shoots energy up to your brain. It literally cleanses you. And then to add to that, she said even just as much, if you can't smile or whatever, fake it. They have now studied that when you smile, it cleanses the toxins in your brain and then shoots it back through your body. So if you can't smile, fake it and watch what it does, because it's going to make you smile regardless, because it's cleansing your brain anyways. It's the nervous system we're talking about. But Rachel brings so much knowledge and wisdom to people in how to implement these strategies, these resources, supplements for that matter, to start the process, not finish it, because it's you that needs to step into the process and finish it just as much. But guys, I'm telling you, she brings so much knowledge to this. I want you to take it. And as she said, coaches are there to help you in the process of your life. It's not that they're going to do the work for you, but they're there to hold your hand and guide you as you take the steps. It still comes down to, are you going to take the steps at whatever speed you choose to? Whether you're someone, I'm coming out the gates and I'm going to make it happen, so be it. You could be someone that's like, you know what, I just want to tiptoe my way there. One way or the other, you're still going to get there because you're doing the work. But Rachel, tell us, is there any, I don't want to keep you too long and whatnot, but is there any other lasting message connecting to all the stuff we just said? All these strategies, resources that you want to leave with people, whether that's stepping through fear with the personal belief and power themselves to move forward, and what we touched on that, or different strategies, resources you just went over, or understanding how powerful the nervous system is, but how connected it is throughout generations, and when we consciously choose to do something else, we change the pattern. Is there anything else you want to leave people before we start to close out this message right now?
Yeah, in my own journey of illness and symptoms that I started at age 8 with asthma, working through food sensitivities and rashes and boils and all kinds of stuff, thinking it was all food. I did every diet out there, and then thinking there was that magic pill, tried all the supplements and gut protocols, and oh, it must be SIBO, or it must be, whatever, you name it. I think I've tried it. And then I went and found out about trauma and how the body holds trauma. Okay, well, let's start clearing trauma. Well, that's when the wowzers, that made a big impact, because then I had to really wake up to my power and be like, oh yeah, I was doing that to myself. That was a trauma response right there. Well, now how do I stay over here where it's really nice and calm, and I like what's happening over here, but I don't know how to stay here, And so little baby steps of getting my needs higher on the list. Maybe not first all the time, but higher on the list, getting my needs met more times than not. That started to help free up energy that I could put into the mindset and into these strategies that I'm starting to collect for people to really make those changes, because Lord knows all of us have different fear levels when it comes to change. I mean, it might scare us into a freeze response. No way am I going to give up gluten, Cinnabons, beer, Pepsi, can't do it, done. Okay, well then don't expect any different results, right? But if you're willing to try something different, where you're just sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, you want to try something different. That's where the magic can happen, because you're starting to open up to the idea that there actually is something that can work, and that, as I went through my journey and realized that I wasn't broken, that I could heal. Woo! Yeah. That's powerful, because a lot of people forget what it feels like to feel good. They forget that they have answers. They want the doctor to tell them. They want Billy to tell them. They want me to tell them. They want somebody to tell them that they can feel okay or good, or that they're not crazy, or that nothing's wrong with them. Yeah. Or that that one day, they won't feel so alone. Well, I hate to break it to you folks, but that message can only come from you. And when I put those two pieces together after everything I've been through, losing loved ones, spouse with cancer, I could just name them off like a checklist. We've all had our traumas. We are not our trauma. We are not our illness. We are so much greater than that. And when I connected the dots that voice was in me, and started to believe her, I'm like, how do I let you lead this ship? And that's where these strategies come in. The 10 things 10% better. The strategies come in right there to harness the ways you want to be and let go of the ways you don't want to be, because you know where those go and you're tired of it. Yeah. Right. And having that courage to walk across that bridge, that takes you and me. I've had lots of mentors, lots of coaches, lots of work done to help me cross that bridge, and still do. Because I do the work every day. I would never tell a client to do the work and not do the work myself. Because a sage, a guide, a person who's plugged in, who cares for humanity, they're doing the work. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. Yeah. And so if I'm going to tell people, here's how you cross that bridge, then I better be doing it myself. 100%. And so I walk the talk, I share from my heart, and I believe wholeheartedly that every human can heal, that every human deserves to feel good and look good and create the life they want to live. Yeah, right. Because a lot of times we get stuck just living the life we thought we should live, or our dad wanted us to live, or our mom wanted us to live, or our grandpa wanted us to live, and now we're living a life we hate. Yeah. Well, that's not really good for being full of joy. And humans, in our birthright, we're born in love and joy and peace and freedom and connection. That's our normal state. So when we are not there, guess what, guys? It's time to go back to the drawing boards. Because there's lots of ways you can get there. You don't have to stay there. And I know it's scary. Lord knows, I know it's scary. It feels like you're going to die sometimes to try to cross that bridge.
Right.
But that's what Billy and I are here for, to help that process be a little easier, to hold your hand, to answer your questions, to let you know you're not alone. Support is what it takes. Knowing you're not alone and having somebody there who can give you really good advice when you need it. Because you're the one doing the work. You're the one waking up to yourself. And you're the one who has to give yourself the messages that you can do it. You're worth doing it.
Yeah.
And believe that you can do it. We can tell you that till we're blue in the face, till we're dead in the ground. But until it comes to your awareness inside of you, the two voices that are talking to you, you shut down the BS one, I call it monkey brain, and you start believing the calm, confident, loving, compassionate, you got this brain. That's when the magic can happen. But to get there, it can be a big process. So Billy and I are here to simplify that. We're here to expedite that. Because Lord knows, I tell my kids all the time, took me till age 44 to wake up. Don't wait that long. You better figure this out now. And no location is going to fix it. You're going to take yourself with you wherever you go.
Right. Yeah, you better like that person. You know, you better like that person. You're gonna be with them all your entire life.
So you better make friends with them. Me, myself, and I, my 3 favorite people. I did not have that kind of relationship because it was covered by trying to please everyone, feeling guilty for trying to meet my needs, for trying to take on too much and burning out. I didn't know who this person was. Yep. I had to take my mask off and be vulnerable and say, yeah, I'm not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's the work it takes. That is crossing the bridge. And I empower everything that you just said, Rachel. I want people to really hone in on that because that's the work it takes. That is stepping up for yourself, trusting yourself, but following that true voice, that loving voice, that joyful voice. And I've come to find that when the anxiety's talking, the stress is talking, the depression's talking, anger's talking, it's as if those are lies. But when you start to see yourself through the lens of the love and the joy that, as Rachel just said, it's your birthright. It's literally what we're made of. If you really dive into the entire energetic aspect, it's what you're made of. And when you start to elevate yourself to realize, you know what, I'm not going to listen to all this negativity anymore. I'm going to step forth in what I know is in my heart to do. I'm going to step forth into who I know I'm meant to be. That's when it's like life, I believe, stands up. It's like, all right, cool. And the way opens up. And then you start to take these steps. And all that fear starts to wash away every single time you make that choice because life is realizing, okay, cool, this so-and-so is ready to play. It's no longer we're going to throw all this at you and to find your way through all this. Like, no, it's a lot easier. It's just you have to have the perspective to look up rather than look down at all the negativity and the stress and everything around you. But Rachel, that's powerful. That's beautiful just as much. And I thank you for saying that. You know, to close all this out right now, tell people, where can they find you with all this empowering work that you're doing, with how you're helping clients, with how much resource and strategies you're bringing people? How can people find more from you? I know you're on Instagram. If people haven't watched the last video, I'm telling you to go watch it. But I want to make sure they can find you in the description of this video. So tell them, Rachel, where can they find you for more?
So you can find me on getoutofstress.com. It's a good place to start. RachelHeddings.com. And then on Instagram, it's RachelHeddingsFM. And Facebook, Rachel Heddings Functional Medicine. So there's all the handles. I think I also have a TikTok account if you want to see some fun videos. I like to put a lot of mindset stuff on the TikTok account. But I just want to leave you with, you're not doing it wrong. You know, sometimes it's easy to say they're doing it right. They got it all together. I want to have what they have. You're not doing it wrong. You can't do your process wrong, guys. And if you can keep reminding yourself that you're worth it, and start believing in yourself that you can heal. You're not really broken. There are lots of things you can do. You know, just remember, you're not doing it wrong. We're here for you and would love to connect further with each and every one of you.
Awesome. No, and I'm telling you guys, go find Rachel, look up all of her websites, find her on Instagram. We're going to post this on Sunday. You'll see on my Instagram where to find her, all of her accounts and everything. But guys, go check it out. If anything we said during this video connects to you, and you fall into any of these categories, whether it is fear, whether it's stress, anxiety, depression, trauma and you're just like, oh, I don't know how to get out of it. I'm telling you, Rachel brings so much knowledge to the table. She can help you in the process of you taking the steps to make sure you get out of that, but you live a whole different lifestyle. That's the purpose of Rachel and myself helping people, whether it's a coach, whether it's whoever is guiding you in the process. We're here to help you. But Rachel, I thank you so much for being here. Guys, if you like this message, please hit that thumbs up button below. Share this message to someone who you feel needs to hear it. If anything we said today creates a spark in you, that someone needs to hear it, or one area we talked about could help someone you know, share this message to them and help them out. Not to help us, to help your friend, to help your family member, whoever it is. And please subscribe to Once a Week on YouTube if you've not already, because we're bringing you special guests. We're bringing you solo messages to help you throughout the week. And if you're in need of a coach like myself, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You can set up a free call with me. I'm right there for you. But Rachel, once again, I thank you so much for being a part of Once a Week. I love having you on. I know we get the energy rolling. We love diving into these topics to help people at the end of the day. So Rachel, once again, thank you so much for being here.
You're most welcome, Billy. It's my pleasure completely to be here with you. I appreciate you so much and all the work you're doing.
Perfect. Awesome. Guys, thanks for watching. Be sure for next week. But thanks again, Rachel. See you guys.
Bye.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, got in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it turnpike miles. Yeah, it's Boo signing up.